Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming to another episode of the Unapologetic Entrepreneur. I know you guys are looking at it saying, hey, what's going on? This looks different, right? This is actually going to be a podcast where we're live. I'm mobile, I'm like a gypsy, and today I have my guest here personally, and we're going to be able to have a conversation, and you guys could chime in because you know the rules. We have questions. I have my questions right here. You guys can always chime in. I want to say thank you and welcome once again. And today's episode are 5 unapologetical. Try to say that real quick, right? We're gonna go over 5 steps of what you could do to avoid going broke. And I'm sitting here, man. Let me tell you, before I tell you who I'm sitting here with, guys, I'm mobile, right? And I know some of you are gonna watch this at playback. And I'm here, I'm from Orlando, Florida. Not from, I live in Orlando, Florida, and I traveled all the way down to Miami, right? Yeah, I know I said it with a weird accent because you guys that are Floridians say it different. So I came to Miami. And I go and stay in a different place in Miami, and this man invites me over to his home. I said, okay, it's only 15, 20 minutes. It's like a world away. It definitely is not where Rick Ross took his videos. This man took me to a whole different side. They have cows. Every car is so different. I say that all to say that this man has been working in his business, in his genre as an entrepreneur for anywhere over, I believe it's 14 years. I'll say over a decade just to be safe because he probably even forgot how long he's been doing this. So it's been over a decade. He's already amounted to make it 7 figures in the business, and we're gonna have a conversation with him on how we can avoid the traps on going broke, because the business that he's in is a revolving door in and out. But yet, if you look it up online, it makes the most millionaires every year. So that goes to tell you something. And basically, you don't even need a degree. But enough of me talking. I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Mark Tirolian. Mark, please introduce yourself to the people. Let them know, even though some of them know who you are, let them know so they know.
Hey, man, thank you for having me, Mr. Leonardo. Get off the bench. Garcia, yes, my name is Mark Tirolian, a.k.a. Coach. Born and raised in Miami, Florida. I went to a college called Bethune-Cookman University, played a little football. Traveled the world, was an electrical mechanic for many years, and now I have ventured into entrepreneurship, and I am a speaker, motivator, life insurance agency owner. So that's it. Let's sum it up in 30 seconds.
Look at that. I want to say hi to our viewers. I know I see merch there. You guys, if you don't say hi, I can't really announce you.
Share this, guys. Share this post right now. Come on, call to action.
Look at that. Call of action.
Be a blessing to others. You never know who and what they will hear today.
Well, I'm going to warm it up. I'm going to warm it up real easy since not everybody knows who you are, Mark. I got a real serious, simple question. I'm going to warm it up for you.
Okay.
You've been in the industry for over a decade now.
Yes.
In and out. And a lot of people don't even know the industry you're in. So let them know first.
So I'm in the financial services industry. So what does that mean? That means I'm able to help people in our community retire tax-free. I'm able to help people with insurance, retirement. I'm able to get people out of poverty. What do I mean by that? We are hiring. I am a mentor. I am a coach. And what I do, I build agencies. And that's one of my gifts. And that's my ministry, building agencies and helping people leverage the business and showing people how to run a business, not be a slave to the business, but become a business owner. That's difference. Many differences.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You already heard that part. So let me start with that question. You've been for over a decade. What drew you into entrepreneurship? People heard you say that you were an electrician.
Yes.
And what keeps you there?
Okay.
That's the important part.
So a lot of people don't know, when I was an electrician, I had my own shop. I had my own company. I had 3 or 4 helpers helping me out. We used to rewire houses. We did commercial work. So I always had the spirit of entrepreneur. I was trading cards. I was trading video games as a kid. Now, I always had the spirit, but then I lost it. I stopped dreaming. And then a friend of mine kept telling me, hey, look, man, I know you're doing your electrical mechanic thing. I see you being successful as a master electrician. That's great, but I'm doing this business where, in this insurance business where I'm changing my life and I'm changing other people's lives. I ignored him. 2 years passed by. This guy, life changed. I mean, it changed crazy. I went to my boss' house that lives in Coral Gables, and I was installing one of a $40,000 chandelier. And I looked around. I walked outside, and I looked, and I said, you know what? This guy do not pay me enough to be his neighbor. And that's when it hit me. Like, you know what? I need to do something else. I need to become an entrepreneur, a true entrepreneur, not working for someone else, but working for myself. Meaning that I'm betting on myself. Meaning that no one could ever pay me more than I could pay myself, based on my work and my work ethic.
What keeps you there?
What keeps me here? Okay, it's real simple. So every time I remember when I was going to quit 3 to 4 months within the industry, and I always looked. I got a card. I don't know if I can have it on me now, and I said, you know what? If I quit doing what I'm doing now, Leo, will I be able to ever have the lifestyle that I want? And I thought about it. I said, there's nothing on earth that's going to pay me what this industry is going to pay me. So I went right back to work. So that what kept me, because I knew nobody else could pay me what I was worth in any industry versus the financial service industry.
Okay. Oh, how you doing, Takira? What's going on, Mr. Keith?
Cousin Keith.
All right.
We got TT in the house.
They were live just a few minutes ago.
Yes.
All right. So from your experience, what's the biggest misconception that new entrepreneurs have when they get started?
The biggest one is the biggest misconception, you say? Thinking that they don't have to work as hard as they did on their 9 to 5. That's the biggest one. Matter of fact, you should be working harder on yourself versus working on your job.
Can you unpack
self-development?
Okay. See, I'm
self-development. Okay, what do I mean? Okay, yes, now you quit your job. Now you're an entrepreneur, right, Leo? What's next? What are you doing after hours? After you finish working from 9 to 9, right?
Oh, did you say 9 to 9?
Yes, I did. Because you're working harder on your business than you did for somebody else, right? So, and this only for the first few years you have to put in 10 to 12 hours a day, and that's the truth. Now, what are you doing for yourself after those hours? Are you watching the movies? Are you going to the movie? Are you going to happy hour? Are you just walking the street? Are you a street walker? You should be developing yourself, immersing yourself, being obsessed of whatever you're doing and bettering your mind, because this is more of a mind game, because we could talk ourselves into or out of any situation we want. But if you don't have that self-development, you're gonna be in trouble.
So you work. So actually, running your own business, you're saying you're putting in more hours.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
So let me ask you this: you're a married man with 4 children, correct?
Yes.
Were you married in the transition?
No. When I first started in 2011, I got my license, we were just dating. We wasn't even engaged yet. We got engaged in 2013. I started in 2011.
Okay, so how did that transition work family-wise? Because she's still used to having a certain time, a relationship takes work.
Right.
I mean, I've been married, so I'm telling you, it takes work. It shouldn't feel like work, just like your job shouldn't feel like work, but it does take work. So how do you go from being dad, husband, coming home, getting dinner, to I might not see you today, honey, I gotta fly out to Texas. See you later. Like, how do you do that transition and still remain married, having 4 kids, everybody happy?
So I kept my family part of my goals. They was a part of my vision. I was not doing it just for me. I was doing it for them, and I let them know. So my goal every month was $20,000 in production, and I held myself accountable, and they held me accountable. How? So my wife, if you know my wife loves going out to dinner. She loves going to these fancy restaurants. So I told her, hey, look, if I don't do $20K a month, we can't go to these fancy restaurants. So guess what? So and then my son, he loved going to the movies. He loved going to Chuck E. Cheese. My son's 21 now. This was when he was like 7, 8 years old, right? And he's a licensed agent, by the way, and he's single. So,
oh my God.
So I told him, hey, look, we're not going to Chuck E. Cheese. We're not going to the movies. if daddy don't do 20K. So every time I came home, guess what they went? Hey, did daddy sell a policy? Did daddy help a family? So they was involved. So they was cheering for me instead of so they kind of wanted me to work harder and work long hours because that would guarantee that they would be rewarded.
So it's all about rewards.
Yes.
And consequence. That's what it sounds like.
Yes, absolutely. But I told my wife this was only temporary, and my son, hey, look, I gotta do this for 3 to 5 years and build that foundation so that I can be free and do the things we want to do later on. But if I don't do it now, I'm gonna be in a tailspin for the rest of our lives. So I was willing to sacrifice 3 to 5 years, working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, sometimes 7. I reached my goal, and they bought into that. They was never upset. They bought into that.
Oh, so it's all about the buy-in.
Yes, you need buy-in from your family. They need to be your biggest fan. They shouldn't be booing you in the stands.
Sometimes you gotta love the haters.
Yeah.
Man. All right. So I got, and guys, remember, you guys can always chime in. What's going on, Ezra, Takira? I saw merch on there, Yana, and keep. Oh, okay. We got. Already. Oh, here they come. Takira's got something. When a person is considering entrepreneurship, which is the most important thing to do first to have a successful transition?
Okay, the first thing you need to do is have a clear vision. You need to be crystal clear on what you expect out of this. That's the first thing. And I'm going to the second thing because that might be the second question. The second thing is you need to find someone that's doing exactly what you want to do and pay them, right? To show you how to do it. Because if you try to figure out yourself, you're gonna make so many mistakes, and that's what a lot of people lack. They lack wanting to invest in themselves. When I say invest in yourself, I mean invest in a mentor or coach. If someone is already doing what you want to do, they're gonna give you the blueprint so that you won't have to make the mistakes that they made. And now you have shortened the gap of the time span of you being successful. So now, if it were to take you 10 years, now it'll take you 2 years. Second
Collapsing time. So I would just add to that with communication. I think a lot of us don't communicate. And as what I picked up from his first question was communicating with your family, because you can have a vision, you can have a mentor, but if you don't start talking about what you're going to do to the people in your surrounding circle while the transition.
But it's here first.
Yeah. So I said
yes.
1, 2, 3. I'm saying the third would be communication, because if not, the plan is going down anyway.
Right, because you don't want to be fumbling when you're talking to your family. Hey, I want to do this. They say, okay, what about this? Oh, I didn't get to that part yet. So the vision has to be crystal clear before you even announce it or get buy-in from anybody else. You need to know exactly what you want to do and what it looks like in 3 to 5 years or 10 years.
Interesting. Look at that. I hope you wrote that one down. And if you didn't, feel free to see it. Oh, okay. I won't get back to mine. Don't worry. We got you. What if your family don't buy into your vision? Do you pivot, and how?
Well, that means that you need to do a better job of painting the vision for them. That's when it comes to you have to be a salesperson. You have to sell them into the vision. You have to. This is when the skill come in. Now, if you can't do it, guess what? You need to find somebody that can. And that's why in certain businesses, they want the wife involved in the business decision so that because they need to sell that wife or that spouse.
So you got to literally buy, or why not add them? If they're part of the vision, it might be easier, but you still got to sell them the vision.
Because they're gonna be doing it just because they just taking up space. You don't want that. You want them to buy in the vision, because when two people have the same goal and manifest, that synergy is crazy.
Manifestation.
1 + 1 is 11.
Say that for the people in the back one more time.
1 + 1 = 11 when you do that.
All right. We got Cherry. What book has had the biggest impact on your mindset?
The Richest Man in Babylon.
I knew it was gonna go with something like that.
The Richest Man in Babylon. That and then I would say a B. That's A. That's 1A. A B is Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Did you guys read my lips? Told you it was gonna happen. Every entrepreneur should read that. Yeah,
that's 1B. Because that kind of gave me the mindset of entrepreneurship. right? Because that quadrant, the E, S, I, and B. Oh, once you learn that, it's hard to unlearn that. It's hard to unforget that formula.
Okay, look at that. Well, thank you. I hope he's answering the question. So, richest man in Babylon and Rich Dad Poor Dad. You're gonna hear if you go through any entrepreneur Facebook, you're gonna see every entrepreneur starts with that, and I think they start with that because when you go from a 9 to 5 to an entrepreneur, you have to learn how to think like an entrepreneur.
Right.
9 to 5, we're programmed. So you got to break the program in order to start thinking like an entrepreneur. So it's like a good start, and it's a book that everybody usually reads. So I knew he was going there, but I didn't know about the richest man in Babylon. Continue to pour on the questions if you. Oh wait, we might have another one right now. Okay, I'll get to you. Reply. I love that question. All right, Renetta. All right, thank you. Look at that. Everybody's getting involved. I got another one for you. Over here. Let's dive in. The topic is about also like avoiding the poorhouse, because in every entrepreneurship, a lot of people, I feel that they feel that once they're starting to do their business, they got money. You know, they're not understanding that now you're getting paid what they like to say your value, right? We're supposed to have value, a great deal of value. But when you start, you really don't have much value. So how do you go from that? How do you avoid? So my thing is, what entrepreneur mistake can you avoid that they might guarantee? I don't even like using the word guarantee. That might prevent you from having financial failure. How do you do that? Do you transition? Do you jump in? Because a lot of people jump in. I mean, I was a teacher and I did not jump into my entrepreneurship because I was used to making a certain amount of money. Now, if I just jumped in, had a family, house, a child to feed, that could have been very, 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 very a very bad position for the whole family. So how could you avoid that?
What's the question?
How could you avoid going broke at the beginning?
You can't avoid it. That's the thing. When you in the beginning, you got to play offense. Don't not worry about avoiding things. You need to break furniture and make as many mistakes as possible. So when you try to avoid, think about it. I'm gonna say a color, and I want you to not think about it. Red. What color can you have?
Your watch.
You know why? Because you thought about it. Once you start thinking about things, trying to avoid things, that's what you're gonna manifest it right there. So don't think about losing. Think about winning. Play offense, don't play defense.
So think about succeeding and just keep going from point A to
don't
point B.
Don't try to avoid certain things.
All right, that's a good one. Oh, well, all right, Ezra. All right. When were you most motivated and focused with a wife and kids, or when you were single? Oh, that's a good one, Ezra. You made him take in a deep breath.
When were you most motivated and focused? I would say both. Because, man, between 2014 and 17, I went for a major run. And I just got married, and I didn't have my daughter yet, but I said I had my son. So I'll say both. I was always motivated, but during those years, I had something to prove. Because a lot of people doubted me. Between 2013, the year I got married, 14, and 2018. After 18, I felt as I was on top of the mountain, because I kind of slayed all the dragons by then. So it's both. It's both. I would say both.
Okay, look at that. As for both, it's just different. It depends what kind of motivation, I guess.
Right, you know? But focus. I'm focused. I'm laser-like focused even now. But motivation, that was 2013 to now. But during that time, I was in rage. I'm more controlled now. I was between them years, I was enraged. Oh, wow. I had a chip on my shoulder during those times.
All right. Well, let's get to let's get to the money topic. All right. How big of a role does poor money management play in these failures that a lot of entrepreneurs go through? What is the simplest way to fix that?
That means you're not making enough money. Is that simple?
Unpack that. Hold on.
So how are you having money issues as an entrepreneur? That means that you're not working enough and you're not making enough money. Because you should never worry about having to worry about money. That means if you're mismanaging, that means you're not making enough money.
Now, a lot of people use that money on themselves. What would you say is the best thing you do when you start making
When
money?
you say it yourself, what you mean they using themselves?
Just made some money. Let me go buy a car. Just made some money. Let me buy some clothes.
That's a mistake.
Okay.
What they should do is buy their time back. They should what you want to do is invest in a team.
Okay.
Like I got an amazing team. I got Sherry, I got Yana, an amazing team. Now you want to buy back some of your time. Now you want to be a master of delegating. Because sometimes people are so selfish, they start making so much money, they don't want to delegate and hire help. They don't want to give another person an opportunity to make money. You want to be a blessing and give people, you want to pay people so that you can change their lives too. It's not all about you changing your life. If I'm hiring people to help me out, guess what? They're making money, their lives are changing too, and mine is changing. Now, if I want to just take the money and just hoard it, I'm gonna lose it because now I'm not thinking of abundance. Because I think I'm gonna lose it. A lot of mistakes people make is not hiring and delegating.
Oh, okay. We got another question here. All right, Miss Jenny, my children's keeper. How do you redirect when your manifestations and God's purpose for you in your life contradict each other? Oh, God, they're just laying them out today.
Manifestation, God's purpose for you in your life contradicts each other.
Like
give me an example.
Like if your manifestation is that this is what you want, right? Mm-hmm. But in your purpose, it doesn't match. They contradict one another. How do you redirect them to try to get them on the same page per se?
I can't answer that because that never happened to me. My plan is always relevant what God planned for me.
Okay.
So I can't answer that. You probably can.
No, because my manifestations came from my purposes. What I was looking for is something that I wanted. So therefore, I haven't had that problem. But when things, when it comes to me, when things don't go in alignment with my plan or my manifestation,
it doesn't go.
It doesn't. It's like oil and vinegar. It might look good together, but they eventually separate. So something's got to give. And for me, what leads my life is always God's will. So
that means that let's go back to number one, crystal clear. Mm-hmm. Your principles and the outcome has to be crystal clear. If it's not crystal clear, then you're going to have all these contradictions.
Oh, guys, keep bringing them on because I got some, but. You guys, I'm really thank you guys, all of you, especially you faithful watchers, because you guys redirect this completely. And I mean, you have Mark here right now. He's a Nazi. He's wearing red today on purpose. He knew it was going to happen. I got questions, but your questions are much more powerful. And the questions that you ask may help you in your entrepreneurship. Just wanted to put that out there. Let's talk
today. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Let's talk partnership.
Yes.
How can choosing the wrong people and I say partnership because this could be relationship bound, this could be in partnership and mixing money. I've been through that. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. So how can picking the wrong partner really drive your business in the wrong direction, money and everything else? But how do you know you have the wrong partner? When is the flag?
The thing is, because a lot of us use discernment. Right, and and we ignore the red and yellow flag because we want to see the good in people, right? And you always want to give people a chance. So I always say, let it happen. My wife always said, because my wife is great. I mean, she'll tell me, look, this person, da, da, da. Watch out. I'm like, no, I'm not watching. I'm not watching that. I'm just gonna let it happen. Let's see what happens.
Oh, so you're gonna watch a train wreck?
Oh yes, because then how would I know if it's gonna be? How would I? I'm never gonna prepare for it because I always learn from these things. Because then nobody can ever say, "Mark, you didn't give me an opportunity. You cut me off." No, you cut yourself off. I always let the person hang themselves. I never want to do the hanging. I'm let them hang themselves.
Give them enough rope. They'll hang themselves.
Always, yeah. Okay. So I'm never gonna, yeah. I'm never gonna be the type of person that I don't cut people off. They cut themselves off.
Oh, Okay, you heard it. All
Yeah.
right, all right. He said what he said.
I don't do the cutting.
Yeah.
Life is gonna cut you off.
Okay, okay. I got one. Give me two things that really destroy your entrepreneur. I mean, you got entrepreneurs. You've had a lot of them. I mean, not only in the business that you're in, but you know a lot of them. You have a Rolodex of people that do all
Right.
different businesses, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of them come, go up, and then fall and fail and disappear. So, what are like two or three things to avoid? Because obviously, when you're coming down, you're also going broke. That's the only way businesses fail is usually financially. So, what do you do? What is it that you avoid? Like what could you avoid facing? Because I mean, in my head, my number one thing would be ego. Because that's
avoiding the ego,
like avoiding your own ego, because ego gets in your way. And
so how would you know if you have an ego or not? How would you know?
If you have the proper mentor, they'll tell you.
Right. So
Blind spots.
So I believe people think they made it too soon. And guess what they start doing? They start getting comfortable. They stop doing the things that they used to do. That's when you could crash. Now, if you continue doing what you've been doing or create a system in order to
systemizing.
In order to continue making the machine go as it should, and you could disappear, then that's different. But if you exit too soon, that's when you burn and crash.
So and what about staying too late? When do you as people that
when do you stay? See, remember, this is a ministry. How can you leave it? All you do is graduate from it and different and help different. It's different levels to it. So you never exit. You just your the demographic might change, but the ministry never changed. You want to serve and help people. That's my ministry. Serving and helping people and paying it forward.
Your entrepreneurship.
My entrepreneur. And see, the thing is, people get it confused. Why are you entrepreneur? Most people want to be entrepreneurs to make the money. It should be different. It should be, I want to be an entrepreneur to change the world. Think about Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. They wanted to make sure that everyone has a computer in their home. They wanted to change the world. And Apple wanted to make it simple for everyone to use a computer. Ford wanted everyone to have a car on the road, even the average Joe that has a 9-to-5. He didn't think about the money. He said, I want to change the world. I want to put people in position and make and solve issues, solve problems. If you want to be an entrepreneur just to make money, you're never going to make money. Now, when I see people want to sell candles and this and that, I'm like, okay, why do you want to sell candles? What is it about that candle that's so special? Oh, well, it's healing the world. Okay, that's different. But you just say, oh, yeah, it's profitable. You're not going to be business long. You're going to be on to the next thing. So why are you doing it? If you're going to be an entrepreneur just to make money, then you're not going to make money.
Yeah, because eventually, what do you do when the money stops? We have another one here. Okay. If you trust your reliable team and partner, right? Team/partner, it could be. Why wait to see the train wreck? Especially when the trust is there, judgment/discernment. There's more to it. Would that mean that you are trusting or relying on your expectations to see if to see it burn rather than to counsel and be good judgment?
I'm never going to play the role of God. If you start making decisions like that when it comes to entrepreneurship, you're playing that role that you try to be God.
Okay. Hey, I'm not touching that. How dangerous is it when entrepreneurs ignore or delay learning financial literacy? You know, especially when it comes around taxes. I could tell you right now, in your business, my business, a lot of people do not know the tax game. So when is it like? How dangerous is that? How insurance plays a role? How long-term planning plays a role? How dangerous is that really?
So what you want to do is now you're rolling, you're making some money. Now you want to hire specialists in that department. You want to hire a CPA, not a tax guy, not your cousin Susie that just do taxes part-time. You want to hire a real CPA. You're entrepreneur now, and some people specialize in businesses. So that's who you want to talk to as an
1099s,
entrepreneur, right?
1099s.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, because a lot of times I hear people, oh, I'm creating an LLC. Why you creating an LLC? Who told you to create an LLC? Oh, I Googled it. I need you to start using your CPA brain. Oh, I don't have a CPA. Okay, I'll see you mine.
Okay. So
Certain
you do
things you want to
referrals.
stay in your lane, like insurance, that's my lane. I'm gonna use my brain all the time. Or someone that knows a little bit more than me in insurance. When it comes to vehicle cars, I'm using my mechanic brain. Now, when it comes to electrician, I'm still gonna use my homie brain because I'm no longer in that field. A lot has changed in the last 14 years. So you have to be a master, like I said earlier, delegating and being a master of using other people's brain that specialize in that field.
Okay, that's all right. Now let's talk about errors because right now he's been talking. Oh, hello, everyone. Our viewers went up. I want to say hello, hello. Feel free to chime in, ask some questions on Facebook or any of the social medias, and we'll be able to answer any questions you may have. It's all he doesn't even know the questions I'm going to ask. But right now, we're going to talk about looking back on some failures. What mistakes have you made that gave you the biggest lesson? The biggest lesson you learned from an error.
Staying. Hold on, let me see. Where my ring at? Oh, I got a ring. I got a ring right here. See this ring right here? This is my 5-year anniversary ring for the first company I worked with, right? And I stayed there 6 years. I stayed there 5 years too long. That was my biggest mistake. Staying captive into a situation where I knew I should have left long ago, where it was getting harder every year versus getting easier.
What made it hard?
Because when I first started doing insurance, we had territory in Miami. That means I could work in Miami, get leads in Miami, but after 6 months, for some reason they said, "Oh, you can't work in Miami no more. You can't get leads in Miami." I'm like, "What? I can't even hire in Miami." So guess what? I had to drive every day from Port St. Lucie and up. So I was in Pensacola at least twice a month.
What's the hour distance?
9 hours. I almost, and this is why I left the first company, because I almost missed my second baby girl in 2016. I almost missed her birth because I was somewhere in close to Tallahassee, Leon County, and they had no reception. I had no reception for 3 days, and I wouldn't know if my wife was in labor or not. And I came home. I'm like, okay, she's due the next week. Okay, I'm done. That's when I shifted over and went to another company because they didn't have any leads in my territory. I couldn't work in my county.
Life lessons. Did not know that one. Oh, wow. All right. He's staying too long when you know it's time to go. That was the answer to the question. I got Takira here. Coach, what advice can you give a newly licensed agent that is looking for an IMO?
I would say it's more important about the person you're working with directly than the IMO. You need to do your research on that person and that person that's getting mentored by that other person. And I wouldn't, as a new agent, don't put yourself as a captive situation. Never put yourself in a captive situation, meaning that you can't work and explore other opportunities.
Okay, I got a question here that says if I can answer the same question. I'm not sure if you're talking about the question Takira asked or the one before. So I'm gonna go with the one before. About a lesson learned. A lesson learned. I really learned from. Whew, it's gonna be a weird one because it wasn't even from only agents. It was from my mom as well. Too many hands in the kitchen can ruin a dish. I was too easy and eager to listen to everyone. I didn't really weigh out my options on who I should listen to, so I listened to everybody just on time, never mind experience. And actually, I've been up and down the ladder in my business where I've gone down for having the wrong people in my ear and then gone up again. And what I did there was another lesson is that I decided to stop trusting everyone. Now I didn't want to listen to anybody. I was in an island of myself. I didn't want to help, mentor, or train anyone because I didn't feel I could trust anybody. And that actually put me in a dilemma where I had to make a choice. And my answer, what came to me, and I know it's going to, for some of y'all, I know you're going to relate. the way that I was able to decipher what to do was by finally submitting, not to a person, but I actually dropped to my knees and asked the right questions to God. Submitting, and my discernment level went up, and decisions have gone up, and now my life and my career and everything that has to do with me and my mindset has changed and gone up. Now, if I have to tell you, if you wanted me to answer to Kira's question, you got to find what shoe fits you. Look, I don't believe there's any such thing as a bad IMO. I don't believe that there isn't. I think you can make it anywhere. If you look at the statistics, it doesn't say this IMO produces the most millionaires. It says the insurance industry produces the most millionaires in a year. It's all about finding what fits you, finding what works for you and your family. I think that too many insurance agencies and people take their job not as, I don't want this to be mistaken, way too serious. They forget about the people and start representing the job. They forget that it should be about them and their families and their surroundings. So what do you do to weigh out your options? See what systems. You know why McDonald's is very good? Because they have a system. What systems fit your lifestyle? Once you find that, success is on the way.
And also, if the founder is no longer present in the business, that might not be a good fit for if you're thinking long term. If the founder is no longer relevant in the business, if the founder is no longer relevant in the business, it may not be a good opportunity as it was before.
Because the vision changed.
Right.
The vision, the vision that got everybody there has now changed, so it goes a different way. It's a different direction. So that's what happens with that. Sorry, somebody just walked in. We're just going right with it.
Excuse me.
Going. So the vision changed. So that's what happens there. Now I have another question here from Ezra. Ezra asks, is prospecting a way of life for you? Coach, is prospecting a way of life for you?
Oh, that's my ministry. Oh, definitely. I'm paving the way. I am paying it forward. Yes. That's the way. That's the only way of life. Making sure people are aware of what we do.
So it's all about prospecting.
Oh, yeah.
And prospecting can mean many things. Prospecting doesn't just mean giving people an opportunity. Prospecting is how can you help? We have solution based. What are you looking for? If you can help them in any way, shape, or form. So either way, I think every entrepreneur should be prospecting, no matter what it is. Even if it's looking for, I hate using this word, but sales.
I was just about to say that.
If you're looking for that, you still got to prospect. Because people are looking to buy, but nobody wants to be sold. So at the end of the day, with prospecting, that's where everything comes in. So
that's one, I'm going to add this too. Every entrepreneur needs to learn how to sell.
You sell every day. Everybody's got to sell.
So what you taking, marketing or sales? You got to pick one.
Me?
Yeah. You got to pick one skill forever.
First of all, guys, ladies and gentlemen, this is funny, right? What can somebody? I wish this was a talk show where we had people in the audience. Does he know that this is the Unapologetic Entrepreneur with your host, Leonardo Garcia? He's trying to ask me questions.
Yeah, but answer that. Now, hold on. Let me ask y'all. If you had to pick one, marketing versus sales, which one y'all picking? I want to see. I wish we had a survey. What y'all picking? Sales or marketing? One skill. You had to pick one. Both is important. It's like your leg in your arm. But we're picking one for now. I want to see what people write.
I'm going with sales, bro.
You going with sales? Okay, let's see who else goes with sales. Okay, Jenny going with marketing. Okay.
Oh shit! Hey, we're playing.
Who else?
We got 18 viewers.
Cherry going with marketing. Okay.
Two marketers.
Okay, let's see if we get one more marketing. What else? What else we got? Sales. Okay, keep going with sales. Okay. All right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anybody else?
One more. We'll take one more. Oh, we got
one more. Financial. Come on. Carla. Marketing or sales? Come on.
Carla said marketing.
Okay. All right. I'm going with marketing too.
Look at that.
Not because it's popular, but because I like to think like Apple. I want to make it so nice, market so nice that I don't have to sell.
Okay, good.
I want to attract.
Maybe I'm at that point right now. I'm in the sales part. It's okay. It's okay.
No, there's no wrong or right answer. No, there's no wrong or right answer. No, but you have to pick one.
Yeah, that's a
Now,
good
when I
one.
first started, sales was important. When I first started, sales was important. Now, at the stage I'm at now, marketing is more important for me.
I got a question that you like to throw around that I've seen on some of your YouTubes
Uh-oh.
and Facebook and Instagrams. If you guys haven't seen them, you can always go into his Facebook. What would younger Mark, not your son, tell this Mark? Uh, what do you wish you would have told younger Mark about when he started his entrepreneur path? What would you like to tell him? What advice?
Hurry up and wait.
What the heck does that
Hurry
mean?
up and wait. That means go full speed, 1,000 miles an hour. Be very relentless. Put more time into myself and my craft, but be patient with it. And that's hard. A lot of people get frustrated. When I say patient, meaning do it with love. Do it knowing that it's going to happen any day.
Have patience.
Yes. Hurry up and wait. That's my answer.
All right. Let me see. I think we missed one comment here. Let's see. What was
I
this?
always
I always say, wait, don't go there. I always say I might not talk to many people, but I market myself well, and that's why what drives people's attention. Another marketing. You guys are just full of marketers. It's okay. You're right. You're right. You're all right, marketers. I'm still a sales guy.
Jerry wrote good marketing sales follow. Wow.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yep, good marketing, sales follow. And Cherry, you already know. I don't gotta say, I'm not saying nothing else. All right, all right. So we're coming down to the wire. I'm gonna ask again. You guys can't participate. I'm gonna ask one more question, and then we'll be off with this. If you have to sum up your advice to a brand new entrepreneur, regardless of the industry, like I said, you have a lot of experience. All right, this will be my last question. We got some people chiming in. That's cool. If you have to sum up advice to a brand new entrepreneur in one sentence to help them avoid making any real big mistake that can drive them out of business, what would it be? I know it was one sentence. That's hard to put it together in one sentence.
Woo! One sentence to give an advice to an entrepreneur.
I got mine. Just in
One
case.
sentence. Besides hurry up and wait, I would say be grateful for the experience that you're having, because a lot of people pass away with their dreams. There's a lot of dreams in the graveyard. So be grateful for the journey that you're going through.
That's Brown said that.
And stay consistent and don't give up. I know that's a cliche, don't give up, but that's you know how hard it is to stay consistent.
It's very hard.
Yeah, so that's when people say don't quit, don't give up. Try not to quit, not quit and not to give up. That's not easy.
Believe in yourself.
You have to believe
By
in
all,
yourself.
that would be mine. Believe in yourself by all means necessary.
Yeah.
Don't ever stop believing in yourself. Make sure you buy your dream now, someone else's. All right, a quote from the book 3 Foot from Gold. I know that one. Focus on your people more than your profit. Do you agree or disagree? 100% agree.
Focus on your people more than your profit. Oh, absolutely, 1,000%.
Do you agree? Yeah, I agree on that.
Oh, yeah.
If you're in an organization where you have whether you get a team, have a team, doesn't matter, hire a team. Happy teams produce a lot more profit. If you forget about your people, there won't be no profit.
Right.
100 pens does a lot more than one of your own. So that's that one. That's a good question. What we got? We're gonna end it with their questions. Let's see what's going on over here. What's the number one mistake new agents, your field again, new agents make when they start an insurance? Ooh.
Easy. It's real simple. Trying to reinvent the wheel and not following the system and using your mentors or your coach brain.
So reinventing the wheel, try to do it your way, and not using your mentors or trainer's brain. Fair enough. All right. As an entrepreneur, we have one here. All right, let's see. As entrepreneurs, you have to make a lot of hard decisions when deciding who to hire in the field of work. Who do you, let me see, I said, deciding who do you choose to refuse to work, and who do you refuse to work with and why? when you have to choose, who do you refuse to work with? I got poof.
Okay, so a thief. That's one. I won't work with a thief, right?
How do you know they're a thief? They're not
Oh,
spam.
easy. They'll tell you. Oh, people. That's why you had to ask 100 questions.
I got
You know, I won't work with somebody who intentionally steal and don't have a good heart and who don't want to help people. You know, that's who I want. Now, it's hard to tell based on in our industry. It's hard to say who you should work with, because when I first started, I'm not hey, who asked that question? Jenny. If we go into a time machine, I am not the person I am now. When I first came into this business, I wouldn't hire myself who I am now, because I was so money motivated. I was so hungry to change my family life. I had a goal. I wanted to retire my parents and my girlfriend at the time. So I was not even concerned about how I was going to get it. That came later on. So I'll work with anybody but a thief.
Yeah, if you know.
Even they have a bad attitude, I could help that person. And what I'll do, I'll probably let somebody else work with them.
Well, yeah, you're in the liberty of doing
Right,
that.
I'll do that, but I won't. I try not to, because you're playing the role of, in my eyes, you stopping that person from changing their life. Because I know what we do. You could be so successful, you could change so many lives, and what we do is a self-development journey. And we don't change people. We help them transform into the person that they want to become. So I would work with anybody but a thief.
Well, if I know that, I don't think anybody will work with a thief. For
No,
me,
some people would, because some people thieves themselves. hey, you know the chargeback, chargeback bandits. I'm just saying. Hey.
Oh my God, that's a good ugly.
Your persistency lower than 30%. Hey, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm not. The way I choose who I want to work with is I feel that everybody gets an opportunity. They will eventually show their true self. If their true self is not someone that I can really, if it's going to be between you changing me or me changing you, you got to go. So I'm willing to give people opportunities, because in my business is an opportunity business, and anybody can do it, but it's not for everyone. So like Mark said, he wouldn't hire himself. He probably wouldn't, but with a different role. Like,
Right.
It's going to be the guy that's just going to go get numbers, you know?
I was a maniac.
I come from the field of being a
first started.
teacher, so I would have hired me, but it would have been different. So there's a lot of people that if I judge them by who they are when they first come in, I wouldn't even have any type of business or organization. So I don't judge anybody. I give everybody an opportunity.
Right.
And in that opportunity, there's checks that they have to check off on my list. And if those checks don't check in, usually if I have to pick whether it's your morals or mine, you got to go, because that's why it's my business.
That's right.
They're entitled to start their own business and do it their way. I hope that answers your question. Takira's laughing at you saying that you wouldn't hire yourself.
I mean, look at the old picture from 2009. The throwback picture I be posting. I was a maniac, but I was a good dude. I was solid. I was not a thief or a liar. So, but I was a go-getter. I was so driven. I wanted to change my circumstances so bad. I didn't want to be broke. I didn't want to be poor.
Guys, there's a barcode on the end over there. Please make sure you scan, like, share, and subscribe. That way you could keep in touch. We're going to have some big time guests, especially after we go. Personally, I'm going to go to a nice training. And when I come back, it's going to be a whole different type of, the stage is going to be set. We're going to probably have panelists and everything. So make sure that you stay tuned. Oh, we still got one more. All right. We got it today. In your industry, those who are transitioning under your team, specific to you, is it easier to work with people with experience? Okay. Known as a lot, the people that know a lot, I know the guys, or someone who is new in the business, the blank canvas.
Which I prefer in my industry? Blank slate. I would rather work with a clay than a statue.
Oh Lord. Okay. Yeah.
I can mold the clay. The statue is hard already. It's already a statue.
We've had these questions on calls. We've had these questions on calls,
Yes.
and I think it depends. I know it sounds like a crazy cliche to answer this way, but it depends where you are in your business. And the reason that is because when you're building, sometimes if you find someone with experience, I had experience, and the right person recruited me. I was an I know person, but not really like, yeah, whatever you say.
Right, you're not
but I had something to offer.
Mm-hmm.
So what I offer actually has changed many organizations. I've been in many different industries, and many different teams in the industry I'm in, and I've changed them. I know that. I find out hindsight, but I know that I've changed them just by what I inflict on it. But if you are starting out, a blank slate is usually better, because guess what? Now you get to create your morals, your culture, what is your protocol, and best of all, you get to infuse your vision. The more people that are in your vision, the faster it's going to go and the faster it's going to grow. So I think that blank slate is going to be better, but sometimes, and depending how you're moving, you might not have that time if you're trying to get a boost, so you're going to need some experience.
Absolutely.
In your industry, oh no, that was the same thing. Oh, wait, we got, all right. Great topic. Thanks, Leo. Thanks, Leo, for having Coach on. Great job. All gas, no breaks.
That's right.
All right.
So you guys, whoever live in Dallas, we will be in Dallas on the 18th.
I was just going to give them final thoughts. Look at this.
Hey, look, shoot me a message. We could connect. We could have breakfast. We could have lunch. We could have dinner. We could have coffee. Let's connect. Let me get to know you a little bit. Leo's going to be there too. Connect with Leo. And Dallas, Texas, here we come.
You know what? Shameless plug time. There's the shameless plug. I always give people a moment to do shameless plug, tell people where they can find you, what you do, and who you are. So
hey, look, my name is Mark Tirolia. Again, MarcTirolia. I'm on Instagram as official_Mark Tirolia. I'm on TikTok, Mark Tirolia. On Facebook, Mark Tirolia. Let's connect.
Look at that. What are they connecting for? What is it they want? What are you looking for?
Whatever you need. You need mentorship. You need more protection. You need retirement. You need guidance.
If you want to change,
we can help you.
There you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
It don't have to only be insurance. I mentor and coach people outside of this industry too. So,
shameless plug. I let them get it in. Guys, like, share, subscribe. It's been an honor, a pleasure, and a privilege. You could have been anywhere in the world and you were here with me. We are going to have Mark back on a part 2. But you know what? I'm going to make it interesting. All of you that are watching, all 18 that were here, that were watching, and once it gets liked and shared, why don't you put a comment on what you want to ask Mark? Put in the topic. Hey, he won't know. I'm the one that's picking the topic, so don't worry about it. I don't tell him. I didn't tell him this either. He didn't know what he was under. And to be honest with you, those that are watching, control the show. I might start with one question and you take it over. So this is a great opportunity for you guys to ask him anything, and you can leave yourself anonymous.
So, one more thing. I got something I want to give a gift out. It's a book called What Would a Billionaire Do? And anybody that send me a friend request and send me an inbox, let me know that you seen this. Just put billionaire in my message. Share this, right? Share this feed right here and comment and tag me and Leo and put billionaire, and I'm going to send you a book for free. It's called What Would a Billionaire Do?
You heard it. We got people that come here and give out gifts. We got 10X books. Now we got What Would a Billionaire Do? Listen, they're giving out knowledge, and knowledge is priceless. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an honor, a pleasure, and a privilege. Thank you for coming out. God bless you. Good night.